What if I told you that, at 85 years old, there are lessons I wish I had learned decades earlier, when I was 60, lessons that would have changed the course of my life? It's not until you reach a certain age that the picture becomes clear, but by then, the time to act may have passed. Today, I'm sharing 9 critical insights I wish I'd known at 60. Some may surprise you, some might hit close to home, and all of them are things you can act on right now. This video could be the catalyst for the change you've been waiting for, so stay with me, because the future you want might be closer than you think. 1. Prioritize your health. The first and most foundational lesson: prioritize your health. This might sound simple, but in truth, health is the cornerstone of everything else in life. At 60, we often believe we still have time. "I'll get to that later," we say, but time has a way of slipping away. I'm here to tell you that later comes faster than you think, and by the time you reach 70, 80 or beyond, you start to realize the true cost of neglecting your body. It's not about being extreme. No one's asking you to train for marathons or start fasting for days on end. It's about making sustainable, manageable changes, whether it's cutting out processed foods, walking for 30 minutes a day, or taking control of your stress levels. These small decisions add up. You might be tempted to think, "I'm too old to start now," but I'm living proof that it's never too late to take control of your health. The only regret I have is that I didn't start sooner. And as we talk about health, we can't ignore the importance of emotional well-being. What good is physical health if our hearts are weighed down by the burdens of broken relationships? 2. Nurture your relationships. This brings us to the second lesson: nurture your relationships. As we grow older, we often take the people in our lives for granted. Family, friends, and loved ones. They seem like they'll always be there. But life has a way of reminding us how fragile these connections can be. People drift away, misunderstandings fester, and before you know it, years have passed without a single meaningful conversation with someone you care about. I've learned the hard way that relationships require attention and effort. Just as a garden won't thrive without water, our relationships can't grow without time, understanding, and care. Don't wait for a tragedy or a health scare to bring your family closer. Call your loved ones, spend time with them, and most importantly, listen. You'll find that these relationships not only enrich your life, but also provide a sense of peace and purpose. I mean, when was the last time you called someone just to say, "I appreciate you"? No, texting doesn't count. Speaking of things that are often overlooked, let's talk about something many people struggle with as they get older: accepting change. 3. Embrace change. The third lesson is one that has shaped the latter part of my life: embrace change. In our 60s, many of us feel like we've figured it out. We've worked hard, raised families, and settled into routines that feel comfortable, but comfort can be deceptive. The world doesn't stop evolving just because we've reached a certain age. And if we refuse to adapt, we risk becoming stagnant. At 85, I've come to realize that the times when I resisted change were the times when I limited my growth. Whether it was adapting to new technology, moving to a new city, or even adjusting to a new way of thinking, change was uncomfortable but always necessary. Every change presents an opportunity, no matter how small or large. Don't fear it, lean into it, and you'll discover parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. And that leads us to one of the biggest barriers to change: fear. What if I told you that fear has been lying to you this whole time? 4. Fear is a liar. Fear. It's something we all face, regardless of age. But here's the harsh truth: fear is a liar. Fear often exaggerates the worst-case scenario, making you believe that taking risks will lead to disaster. But the real disaster is letting fear paralyze you. At 60, you may think it's too late to try new things, pursue your passions, or take risks. Fear will tell you that you're too old to start over, too set in your ways to succeed at something new. But the only failure is in not trying. Look back on your life for a moment. How many times did fear stop you from doing something? And how many of those fears actually came true? I'd bet not many. Don't let fear continue to dictate your decisions. Instead, challenge it. You'll find that fear crumbles under the weight of action. Let's be real. How often have you been scared to do something, only to realize it wasn't so bad after all? Kind of like trying kale for the first time. Now, with fear out of the way, let's talk about something that can shift your entire life, starting today. Happiness. 5. Happiness is a choice. At number 5. Is this life-changing realization? Happiness is a choice. It took me decades to understand this fully. For years, I thought happiness was something that happened to me based on external circumstances, my job, my health, my relationships. But I've since learned that happiness is a mindset, not a condition. It's not about waiting for everything to fall into place. It's about choosing to find joy in what you already have. At 60, I wish someone had told me that practicing gratitude would change my life. Whether it's being thankful for a sunny day, appreciating your morning coffee, or simply cherishing the time you have, happiness can be found in the smallest moments. It's easy to focus on what we lack, but true fulfillment comes from embracing what we already have. Start choosing happiness, and life will begin to feel much more abundant. Let's shift gears now to something that keeps life interesting. At any age, learning. 6. Never stop learning. The 6th lesson: never stop learning. At 85, one of the things I'm most proud of is my commitment to learning. It didn't matter whether I was 50, 60, or 70, I kept finding ways to grow. This is something many people overlook as they age, believing that learning is only for the young. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Learning keeps your mind sharp, your spirit young, and your life exciting. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, learning a new language, or simply reading more books, feeding your curiosity will give you purpose and fulfillment. You don't need a formal classroom or even the internet to learn something new. The world around you is a teacher. Take a walk, observe nature, talk to new people. There's always something to learn if you're willing to look for it. And what's one of the best things you can learn? It's something that not only enriches your life, but the lives of those around you. I'm talking about the power of giving. 7. Give back. 7th on this list is give back. As I've aged, I've come to realize that one of the greatest sources of joy is in helping others. At 60, I was focused on my own goals, my own needs, and my own success. But the truth is, no matter how much we achieve, it's what we give that truly defines our legacy. Whether it's time, knowledge, or resources, giving to others not only helps them, but fills your own life with purpose and meaning. Volunteering, mentoring, or simply offering. A listening ear can have a profound impact on both you and those around you. It's never too late to start giving back, and you don't need to have a lot to give. Small acts of kindness ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. And speaking of legacy, let's dive into something many of us start thinking about as we grow older: how we'll be remembered. 8. Legacy matters. 8th, I've come to understand that legacy matters. As we get older, the idea of leaving something behind becomes more pressing. But here's the thing: your legacy isn't about fame or fortune. It's not about the things you accumulate. It's about the impact you have on the people in your life. When I was younger, I didn't think much about legacy. I was busy with work, raising a family, and living in the moment. But now I see that our real legacy is the way we make others feel, the memories we leave behind, and the lessons we pass on. Think about it. What do you want people to remember about you? The kindness you showed, the advice you gave, your sense of humor, or your ability to comfort in tough times? These are the things that last. Your legacy is built in the small, everyday actions you take, and it's not too late to shape it. Every interaction, every word spoken, adds to that legacy. So, if there's one thing I wish I had done more consciously, at 60, it would have been to focus on the mark I was leaving on others. But there's one more lesson I need to share with you, and it may be the most important one of all. It's about living fully in the present, something many of us overlook as we age. 9. Live in the present. Finally, the ninth and perhaps most crucial lesson, live in the present. At 85, I've realized that the future isn't promised, and the past can't be changed. All we truly have is now. Yet, so many of us spend our time either worrying about what's ahead or regretting what's behind us. If I could go back to 60, I would remind myself to stop worrying about the future and let go of past mistakes. I would tell myself to be where I am, fully in the moment. There's something liberating about accepting the present for what it is. It allows you to appreciate life as it happens, the laughter of your grandchildren, the feeling of a cool breeze, the simple joy of a quiet morning. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life, especially when we're younger, but I wish I had taken more time to just be. Because when you live in the present, you find that life in all its imperfection is enough. So there you have it. 9 lessons I wish I had heard when I was 60. If you're watching this and you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s or beyond, take these lessons to heart. It's not too late to live the life you want, but the time to act is now.